Hey, what's up everybody? David Waters here. Welcome to the channel. This is another video. This is actually one of my favorite topics today, and it's gonna have a lot more content than what you've seen so far. I've done some consulting accelerator stuff, and I had one introduction video talking about my goals, but this one is gonna be the core of what's going on over here in Italy. Today I'm going to introduce to you the property that we have in our possession at the moment, because it is a direct result of the strategy that I've been implementing here. Perhaps it will seem like nothing special to you, but you know, it has really changed the life of my family, and a lot of it has to do with our perspective or outlook in life, trying to manage money in the rat race we call life, right? So anyway, today I'm gonna first of all, a big congratulations goes out. This video is being done in the name of my son, who just became the newest member of the United States of America. He became a citizen today. We were this morning at the embassy in Milan, and you know, the process, we've done this 3 times. We have to go through the same process, proving that I'm an American, and this time was a little bit different. The other times I got an appointment really fast because you do it online, you just grab the appointment. But this time I had to prove that I had lived there for a period of time before they'd give me the appointment, which was fine. I had to go and ask my family for some documentation that I didn't need for the first 2. Anyway, so that's enough of that, but he became an American today, and I'm going to share a little bit at the end, some of the clips of us going through Milan with him afterwards. We visited the big cathedral in the middle of Milan called Duomo, and I mean, the video is going to be brief, but maybe you stick around long enough you can see some of that. Anyway, let's get to it. First of all, we're going to look at the property that I'm sitting in today. You usually see it in its best condition. I'm just going to walk around outside and show you a little bit of the status. It's not perfect yet. It's still in the middle of a remodel, 5-year remodel, right? No, but reality, the house is nice. We do a lot of things ourselves, and so we save a lot of money that way. But outside, we need to refinish the wall. It needs to be painted and fixed up a little bit. So anyway, so here we're gonna go take a step outside, and we're gonna come back in a minute. While we're out there, we'll probably talk about some pros and cons about the property. So I just wanted to stand out here and do a quick video of my home. This white one right here is a townhouse style. I'm on a private street. There's 7 properties on it, and you can see our door and window. There's 2 windows above because there's 2 bedrooms upstairs and a living room. Anyway, wanted to talk about the pros and cons of this neighborhood. Really, we like it because the schools are nice. It's a residential area and it's outside Milan, so there's not as much chaos, especially with this private street. It's a private street on a one-way street, and so hardly anyone comes back here. Literally only the people that live here, and it's been very peaceful. Anyway, so you can see we need to do some repair work probably. We have that set up to do as soon as possible. We've got someone who's going to take care of the labor. We're going to throw in the money for the materials, and we're going to do a trade of labor. Anyway, as far as cons, it is a bit of a commute for my wife to go to work. It doesn't have all of the services you need, but I'm used to using a car anyway, and living far enough away from the market that you have to go and travel. So that's common. That's normal for me. But as far as maybe renting it to an Italian or anyone, they're used to post offices and pharmacies being in the vicinity. So that's a little bit of a con, but I like it personally. And that's all that matters, right? If it's your own home. So as far as an investment, kind of a con. As a family investment, I'd consider it a pro, right? Anyway, this is more or less it. The roof, we do need to look at the shingles, because we've noticed that they're pretty old, which is very common, and it's about time that a few of them, maybe not all of them, but a few of them go substituted. And it actually does a really nice effect, substituting some of them and organizing them a little bit artistically. You'll have some new, some old, and it creates this I don't know, this pattern, I guess. You have to be a little bit artistic about it. So you need to pick the right worker. The door's open. We always have the door open. Come on by. Anyway, I lost my voice, but here we go. Those are the pros and cons for this property. We're gonna get. All right, welcome back. This is the portion that I wanted to talk about, the actual breakdown of how we got into this property, the cost of it, the purchase and the remodel. Okay, first of all, we went through the pros and cons. Now, this property was bought on auction. The bid price, the base was at $38,000, and we put in our application at that base price, and we were the only ones, so we got it for that base price. At that time, I think the purchase tax was 4% for anyone who is claiming this as their principal home, and so we paid 4% extra, and that, well, almost. It was about $1,400 extra, and then over a period of 5 years, we did some initial investment for the kitchen and some other remodels over time. 5 years later, we've probably put in taxes and remodel included probably another 12, and so we're sitting at about 50,000 euros invested in the property at this point. If you look at that, 5 years, 50,000, that's 10,000 a year that we've spent on living in a property, right? So let's divide that by 12 to see what that monthly payment would have looked like. If I'm not mistaken, it's 833 euros per month. Okay, so what could I have gotten for 833 euros per month as opposed to have spent so much money over 5 years, right? Because people say cash is king. Could I have done something more effective with that money? You know, I'll let you be the judge. Let's look at this for a second. I've done some research online, and in my area, I found a really good resource to find out how much is like the average rent price for a per square meter in this neighborhood. You can see from this map right here that the average price per square meter for rentals in this city that we're in right now is €5.90. And if I multiply that by how large my property is, the main portion of this home is 125 square meters. And so we have like I mentioned, we have 2 bedrooms. We do have an extra space outside. Okay, if I include that extra space that I've been using as an office recently, if I use that space, it becomes 146 square meters. So, you know, let's multiply 5.9 by each of these and see what we get. Nearly 6 euros times 125 puts us at the range of 800, no, what is it, 700, I have to look it up. Oh yeah, 737. It puts us at about 737 euros a month. Looking at it this way, we could have found a property that was 125 square meters and only have spent 737 euros a month. So it looks like we're overspending by 100 euros, right? Now, if I consider the office space I've been able to utilize as well, that actually puts us over the amount at a total of 861 euros a month. So we're actually ahead of our total investment is actually less than we would have spent in rent over time. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of this? You know, there are many benefits of leveraging your money. There's a lot. There's 2 sides of the story. People are leveraging too much, and it gets out of control, and a big market bubble happens. And then people aren't leveraging enough, and they're losing on opportunities that they could have invested their money to make more money, right? And so where do we sit? Well, we sit in a point where we had less than 38,000. We had to take a small loan from family that we paid back 0 interest over time, and in order to purchase this with cash, okay? And so for us, so we have to look at the situation, what we could be doing as opposed to what we're actually doing, right? We look like we're pretty much at that break-even point right now. We've spent basically as much as we would have at any point in either situation. I wanted to interject, and while I'm doing so, you can enjoy this entrance of my neighborhood. Anyway, this idea that we have now broken even, and every day going forward, we have the choice of selling the property and gaining value and gaining cash, or this basically kind of a phantom value every single month of 833 euros is considered extra money in our pocket that we wouldn't have had 5 years ago. How do you like those tight roads, by the way? If I let it play even longer, you'd see almost a head-on collision. That's life in Italy. Right? We could have leveraged our money. Maybe we could have put 20% down, 20% of 40,000 approximately, right? We would have spent 8,000, and then we would have had what, 20,000 euros left just sitting in an account, and we could have done it again and again and again. Well, what that would have done is given us a monthly payment over our heads every month, a little bit of stress, right? Well, when it comes to my home, I have loved that feeling that my home is my home now and nobody's going to take it away from me, right? So what is that emotional baggage that we drag around when we owe debt? What is the value of that, right? For us, if we compare it to if we lived in the United States right now, we would have had to use that same cash that we bought this entire house with, and we could have bought a house between 100 and 200,000, and we would still owe a mortgage and have used all our cash, right? So looking at it like that, or comparing these two scenarios, our situation's been really nice. We spent almost as much as we would have anyway, and we have not paid a mortgage bill. We didn't have to take time to pay the bill, nor the stress of not paying the bill in an emergency situation. Okay, so those are two benefits that I can consider. Let's take that period of August 2014 until January 2018, when we decided to purchase that next property, to see how much we actually saved, right? So in theory, we saved. Assuming that we saved every penny that we would have spent. Okay, let's take that lower number, 737, not even considering that office space, and multiply it by 41 months. That total comes to 30,217. Yeah, I got it. Anyway, 30,217 euros. We're gonna go take a look right now, and then we're gonna come back and talk about these numbers again. So this building behind me that is taller, with 4 floors, is the one we purchased. We purchased the entire top floor. You can see on this side that it has proof that it needs to be fixed. It's the stucco is all off. You can see the brick, and it's one of the bigger projects that's coming up we don't have control of. Anyway, we'll get to that. I'll show the back side. There's the entrance right there. We have to access someone else's property. Actually, I don't know why, because it goes underneath our property, but the fence of it is actually on that side, so it doesn't make sense. The back side is stucco as well and has less issues regarding the stucco, but a lot of that actually is about to fall, and we have to fix it. A few of the pros and cons of this community. This is striving through towards the center of town. It has a lot more services as a pro. It is a calm place as far as a place for living. It has a lot of high schools and all the things that you could need, a hospital, pharmacies, and grocery stores. It's kind of cute. It has a castle and it has a cathedral and everything like that, banks. On the investment side, as a renter, it's great, but as a landlord, it's not as great because the prices are pretty low for rentals. As a investor, it's actually a great thing though. However, the price that I paid for this property. Anyway, we're in the middle of town, and I'm gonna have to blur a few things. Watch out for that car. All right, welcome back. So you saw that property. You saw that property needs a little bit of help. You also don't know yet what we actually were able to do with it, unless you perhaps have followed me on social media or blogging. The point is that we purchased that property, And what we did with it, because it was so large, 280 square meters, well, that counts like storage spaces and garage spaces. So let's say it's more like 100 and 200 square meters. Okay, so this property, it was 200 square meters, and what we decided to do is get a mortgage. Right? Okay, we're not going to spend all our cash this time. What are we going to do? So we saw that the price was, ready for it? The base price was $34,500 for this property. Okay, it is 200 square meters. It's like over 2,000 square feet. In Italy, that is actually a really big apartment, as well as being the entire top floor of that building. It was pretty desirable, right? So with this space, 34,500 euros, we would have to pay 9% taxes. Because it's not our principal, it would be a secondary investment, and so this would be the tax on purchasing property here in Italy. We went from bank to bank to bank trying to find someone that would actually give us such a low mortgage, because the other option would have been financing. And you're going to see here in a second why it matters. The mortgage rates in Italy were like less than 2%. Like, we actually were able to find a bank that would loan us 28,000 euros. And I was shooting for more like the entire 34,500, because I was hoping that they would consider the value, not the base price. But they said, no, we're going to take the base price and we're going to give you 80% of that. So they gave us 28,000 euros. And the rest was up to us to provide. So between 34,500, 9% of taxes, and a remodel, we actually reached about 50,000 euros again. Okay, so between 50,000 and 28, we're required to put in about 22,000 euros cash. So that's like 56% leveraged, right? We could have done financing as well to get us the rest of the way, but we decided, 22,000 euros put into this house, this situation, we can do that we have the cash to do it right now. So we would still have a little bit of cash left over for another project. Now, we were literally the only ones that came and participated in this auction, and this allowed us to get it at that base price. The actually base price was a little bit higher, but we were able to offer 25% less because of the certain time period. And the same offer is happening even right now. Now, the point is that this property, 200 square meters, what are we going to do with it? We could rent it as it is, or what we decided to do was divide it into two, because in the past it was actually 3 apartments. Every single floor all the way up has 3 individual apartments, except for ours, which was 1. And what we decided to do was divide it into 2 and put 2 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartments there. And you can see the floor plans right here and right here. Now, what we want to understand before we make any real investment decisions is what we can get back from it. Looking at the same resource, you can see that the actual rent prices are about the same as in our neighborhood right now. But in reality, that as you can see from this next map, the value of properties that are being sold are actually sold at a higher rate in the city that we live in, as opposed to the neighboring city that we just invested in. All right, so those maps aside, there's the bells again. 5.9 euros per square meter again. And if we decided and we divided it, it ended up being 90 square meters and 110 square meters based on the way we split it up. It was the easiest way to split it with the lowest cost. And what happens is it puts us at about 531 and 649 euros per month if we were to go with the market rates. Now, we were not able to get that. I guess not that we were not able. We actually shot for a lower rent so that we could rent it more quickly. The point being is that you can see the condition of the exterior as well needs to be updated, and so to attract other people, there's a very actually there was a very interesting situation that we'll talk about in future videos about the time period that we were actually received the keys for this apartment and did the whole division. Anyway, it's an interesting story that I'll share another time. But if I look at these numbers, it puts us at about 1,180 euros per month together that we could have made. Now we're getting slightly less than that, but using this as an example, we did the math, and at what we're getting right now, we're actually we have to spend about 40% on taxes, like income tax and property tax and insurance and the condominium fee, okay? So we'll be able to keep about 60% of the gross rents. And so between 1,180, that puts us at about 550 euros per month. Then I have to subtract a mortgage payment, right? And so a mortgage, what is the mortgage payment? I mentioned that it was at 1.95%, I think. I'm gonna have to verify it. You'll see it up here in this table. But doing it 28,000 for a 15-year period. We didn't even do a 30-year. We did a 15-year mortgage loan, and it puts our mortgage rate. It was at 191 euros, including mortgage insurance. Okay, so that's where we're sitting right now. We're in positive cash flow in a property that was divided into two, where we were the only ones on auction, all because we were able to save money over these years and reinvest it in more property. So now we've actually increased our monthly passive income, and I don't know, it feels good. Now that property you saw needs a lot of attention, and it still will. We'll have to put more into it. At this point, we've got a cash-on-cash return of about 20%. We're looking at at options regarding how to get cash to remodel the exterior, because we have to do it. We can't just do it on our own. The exterior of the building has to be done as an entire complex, right? And so we don't have individual power over that, or else it would have been done already. Anyway, so that's the situation regarding this property. I'm happy to share it with you today. You saw both properties, and right now we're starting the hunt to do it again. And so this YouTube channel will be documenting the process of me and my family hunting for the next property, and we have our criteria in mind, and I'll be sharing that with you in upcoming videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and hit that notification bell. It really helps out, and especially during this period of 20 days. I think I've got like 18 days or 17 days left to reach 1,000 subscribers. We've already reached 8, so I really need your help to reach that goal of 1,000. I'm sure it'll go exponentially as I start to share more videos. But thank you very much for anybody who's been supporting me so far, and anybody out there who's watching this video. You're amazing. And that's my kid, so I better go. Check you out next time.
And here we are in Douaumont. And guess who's an American today?
Why do you make it so creepy?
Lucas! He's an American citizen.
So we're here, we're checking out Douaumont.
With Lucas.
There it is.
The first American of our family.
And the giant building behind.
It's Douaumont. With the guy we have to blur the face in.